Morning, everyone. I'm going to call this meeting to order. My name is Sandy Coker. First order of business, I'd like to get a motion to approve the minutes for January 9th of 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from Jan 9th.
Anyone second?
I'll second the motion.
Great, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
We have
We're
to
gonna
do a roll.
we're going to
We
do a
have to
roll
do a roll
call?
over the,
Okay, roll
because
call.
we,
Don't we have to have a quorum in person?
No.
No.
you
No,
can
we
have
discussed
it
this
with
last time.
hybrid.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
we do
So
have to
it
do a
was
roll call.
confirmed.
We'll do a roll.
We were uncertain last meeting. Yeah.
we'll do a roll call, starting with Mark.
I don't vote, so Sean.
Oh, Sean?
Keough, yes.
Gingras, yes.
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't here.
Bagden, yes?
Leonardo, yes.
Marks?
I saw your lips moving, Mark.
Yes.
Thank you.
Alexander, yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so that motion has passed. Thank you so much for that. We're going to start now with the small business grants. And Mark, if you want to take over.
Good morning, everyone. Excited to be up again with the small business grant program. It is now, since I've been in the role since September, the interest has started to grow again. I think when Zach went away for those 4 or 5 months, things waned a little bit, but I think now that I'm back out on the streets and telling people, I had a number of people interested, but 4 applicants actually come forward. I have 1 applicant here. The 3 that didn't show, I know the committee normally likes the participants to come in front. I don't want to take responsibility, but I was a little late inviting people, so when I finally got around to inviting them, they were a little busy, and they said they would have rearranged, but I felt bad kind of last minute asking people to jam their whole schedule up to be here. So I will speak for 3 of the recipients to give you an idea of what's going on, and I'm going to introduce Dan Flood. If anyone doesn't know him, he's right up here, Dan. He'll speak on the Central House, just a few minutes on what the Central House is looking to do.
Great.
Hi guys, thanks for your time. So Mark approached me about this economic development grant. I kind of never really knew anything about it before. He came at a great time. I did my floor in the bar area recently. I put down flooring that wasn't probably commercial grade, so it's gotten beat up pretty bad. I've had to do a replacement kind of on the heavy traffic areas already. So I need to go into a different, more sturdy flooring, and this would be a huge help to kind of defray some of that cost, because I spent some good money, maybe 4 years ago. So this would be a huge help if I could get the grant. So any questions?
As you can see from the rubric scoring it's probably one of the higher scoring projects we've ever got in front of the Economic Development Committee, being a downtown business. Business has been open since 1974. First floor, it fits, pretty much almost every category you could ask for in our rubric, but happy if you have any questions for Dan to let you address those.
So Dan, are you working, on this flooring? How are you going to rate what you're going to get? So how do you know that it's going to hold up?
Yeah, so I'm
better
working with a couple different flooring companies, getting quotes for a little sturdier, something that can withstand the elements in the winter, the sand, the salt, and withstand being washed on a regular basis.
Awesome.
So the flooring that we have is decent, for a residential grade, but as far as commercial grade goes, it really hasn't held up. So that's what I'm getting quotes on now.
And what's your average cost for?
Average cost on the quote is around anywhere from like 9 to 12, 13,000. So
Yeah, so this wouldn't be the full, obviously,
Right.
portion of the grants.
Any other questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Anyone else? No? Okay, great.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Thanks,
you,
Dan.
guys.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Good luck. Thank you.
And just to state on all 4 of these grants, I would say that the total cost of the grant would well exceed the 5. They asked for $5,000. I guess going forward, I could have them ask for $15,000, and we only give them 5 when they try and do a project. But I figured since our max allotment was $5,000, I didn't have them ask for the additional, $10,000 for a flooring and only receive 5.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think the size of the project does matter, though. So
Okay.
if they just want to give us the size of the project, that'd be great. So we know, are we
Yeah.
giving them 20% or are we giving them 100%?
Agreed.
as I said, this is my second time around with these, so as I learn, these
Oh,
are all
yeah.
my things I'll add to my next round as far
We'll
as.
No,
forgive you,
definitely.
Mark.
So, like I said, as I mentioned before, my other three recipients, I was a little late getting to them, so I can go through. I guess I'll start just going in order. The Westborough House of Pizza. I think everyone knows the Westborough House of Pizza right on East Main Street. George, the owner there, I was brought in there originally after their annual inspection. The fire department found there was a sprinkler not located in the downstairs cooler that was going to be an issue for him. It was asked to be replaced. So I was given the information to stop in and speak to George. This grant, I was able to offer him to potentially use that to update his fire suppression system to get him within code, and also offer a lifeline to him from the town as something that that to help him fix it. And then also he's looking to buy new outdoor furniture for his patio. In the spring, he's really looking to revitalize his deck there on the front. So it's a nice double-sided project, because it comes in and assists with him and in a time of need when he's got a sprinkler, because anyone that's worked in, if anyone has been in the restaurant business, it can be an up and down business, so having the extra cash on hand to help with the sprinkler would be great. And obviously the outdoor seating is a benefit to the town as well as him, to have someplace else outside. It does rank a 65 out of the 105, a little lower than Dan's score, but the main reason for that is he hasn't been in business as long as the Central House. Yeah, can I have any questions or anything I can offer on this?
So is it operated, because WAP's been around for a long time, but he's a new owner?
He took over in 2021, I believe.
Wouldn't it still be the business, would still be here more than 5 years? I mean, I would,
That could be the committee's decision. I was thinking the owner, but
Yeah, so I don't know that we've ever actually been posed that question,
Yeah.
Sandy, to be honest. So, I mean, it's certainly up to the committee. They can say because the establishment's been there for a number of years, you can give them those points. Certainly, the committee's right to do that.
what does everyone think about that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I guess it's a sort of an interpretation
Yeah.
of the rule, right?
Correct.
How are we interpreting it? Yeah.
I look at WAP as the establishment, right? So
Yeah,
that's
I
why
mean, certainly, the House of Pizza's been there for a number of years. It's not new. It's been here longer than I've been here, and I've been here over 6.5 years.
I would say when they purchased the business, they had the intention of keeping the same theme ongoing. So
Yeah.
I would say that.
And they have, I feel like it
Yeah.
hasn't really changed.
That's fine. So it's just a matter of.
yeah, that would,
giving them-
so at that point, I mean, we could look at adding 5 or 10 points based on the number of years he's
Yeah,
here.
I don't know how long.
Yeah, I'd have to
that
dig into
establishment was-
the history. So even if we said added 10
At
points,
least 10, I think.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sure.
so we'd add, so we put it 10 points, it would add,
So
you
we'll go
know,
up to 75.
75 points,
Oh, so if-
65 points, I
Yeah,
guess.
you'd add
I
10
think
points.
You're saying it's been here at least 10 years.
At least
10 years, so
yeah,
you get an
so
additional
5,
10 points.
yeah.
That's the
Right.
beauty of the
It's
rule.
at
Would it be
15, I
It's
think?
15,
Fifteen.
isn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's how you-
15, so you'd actually go 65, 70, 80 points.
Yeah. Okay.
My apologies, I tried to jip them out of 5 points.
Mark, is there a breakdown or?
He is working on the grants, the quotes from the fire sprinkler companies right now to get someone to come in. Rough estimate would be between $2,000 and $3,000 for the sprinkler, and then the additional money would go towards outdoor seating. And what we were looking at for outdoor seating, roughly probably about $400 to $450 per table set, 4 tables, chair, potentially an umbrella. And without the umbrellas, actually, it was about $450 a set. And add the umbrella, you'd end up probably north of $500 or $600 a table. So based on the sprinkler cost, he would use the remaining difference to purchase as many outdoor furnishings as he could.
I think the outdoor furniture thing the outdoor dining thing is still something that we want to keep revisiting because I think it does just make for a more vibrant downtown.
Agree.
Mark, sorry, I was late
It's
and I
okay.
might have missed this, but would we get copies of these grants?
I can certainly share copies of everything
Yeah.
they sent out. Yeah, I mean, if you'd like,
Yeah.
I apologize I didn't share them before the meeting, but really he was looking to, add sprinklers and outdoor seating. I'm happy to share the paperwork.
Yeah,
If
we
you'd
just
like to see
usually,
it.
yeah, I like to just look at the whole package and everything.
Okay.
So is he asking for 5,000?
He is asking for 5,000. All 4 of the candidates today have asked for the full
Okay.
grant amount, and in different ways. Like I said, they've all, as I go through them, they all have had one major project and then smaller projects tied to the side of them.
Okay.
Oh, that's my fault. I should have reminded Mark that we
That's
should
okay.
include the whole grant as part of the application to you, the committee. My apologies for that.
Okay.
Adding to my notes for next quarter.
And I think this one's interesting because it sounds like he would spend up to what we provide
Correct.
them, right?
The seating area on the front, I mean, the number of tables he could add there is probably about 10 to 15. So the grant itself, he could have done just for outdoor seating at that point in time. My introduction to him was through the sprinkler issue, so I was trying to resolve one issue that was outstanding to the town before I gave him money for outdoor seating.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I agree with that. I support the outdoor seating. It does really help the downtown. I guess I'd be interested to know if he was definitely going to turn over the entire outdoor seating, or if he's just going to buy however much we give him as part of this grant. Like, is he
Yeah,
just
his
gonna,
plan was to redo the outdoor, all the outdoor, his
All the
outdoor
outdoor
seating
seating.
is, we looked at it and it's chipping, falling apart. It's probably about 6 years old now, 5 or 6 years old, I would have to guess, and it's in terrible shape. So I think 90% of what he has probably would have to go, just from looking at it. So it would be redoing that whole deck area, hoping to revitalize his business for the spring is what he's hoping. He's hoping to bring some more people that want to sit outside, have a beer, enjoy the traffic on East Main Street, I guess.
Got it.
But, it's
so if he's got like 15 tables there, then this seems to me in aggregate to be about, with the fire suppression system, maybe about a $10,000 project. is what
yeah, I
it's
would. Yeah,
looking at.
estimate. I would have to guess. Yeah, I mean, like I said, per table, at least $500 to $600 per table. I would think
Okay.
at a bare minimum to
Okay.
get the industrial seating for outside, and then also talk to him about putting it away better in the winter because he was storing it outside. So I thought maybe trying to find someplace else to store it might be a suggestion for the future. It might not survive as long as spending
Got it.
6 months in the cold probably isn't good for it.
Yeah, and to me, just to say, since we've been doing this for a little while, I appreciate projects where the owner is contributing some portion of the funds, and we're not just paying for the entire project. There's a commitment on their side as well. So,
Okay, so going forward, I'll make sure that I include the full tab of the
Yeah.
project on there. 'Cause
Yeah.
most of these projects, I believe, all exceed the $5,000, and no one's
Right.
looking for just, not enough to do the job. They're looking to
Right.
do something larger, and this will be the catalyst to get them going.
So it's a kind of an offset.
Yeah, like I said, as a hand to the town, and to show that we're here, we're helping, that we want to be part of what they're up to.
So if I may too, just as a informational, because the umbrella's involved, they have to go through design review. It's not
If
something
they
they
get
probably.
umbrellas, yes.
Yeah, if they decide to go with the umbrellas, it's not something they probably want to go through
Sorry,
multiple
Jenny.
times.
oh,
Probably
got
wa-
it.
And want to go to design review once and get the approval,
Right.
just as a FYI.
Yeah, and I don't know what the design review board would say if they replaced half their umbrellas, right? I mean, I don't think they would be pro that. Okay.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Todd, Mark, anything you want to contribute?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a little difficult to hear, but did he provide actual estimates for the patio furniture?
We were looking online. We were looking at some stuff, and he had 2 or 3 different chair kind of that he had looked at, that he had showed me in catalogs that he was going to order. He goes, I'm looking at these 3 different chairs. So like I said, I was looking at estimates of about $50 a chair, and the tables were landing at about a little over $150, around $150, give or take the estimate. He had like 3 or 4 different models he was looking at, so that's roughly where we were going to land. That's how I got to that number of around between 500 and 600.
So my feeling, similar to what Sean was saying, is that I think it's very important that these guys have some skin in the game.
Yep.
And I almost think it should be a requirement for them to at least show us actual estimates from vendors for the cost of those products.
Okay.
Because they could easily pull a 180 on us and go with something cheaper, and unless we put some language in if we were to grant the approval, some specific language stating that it has to be, a minimum of X dollars worth of stuff. I don't like to see it too open-ended, in my opinion.
So do you want to see if we do decide to approve, do you want to see a conditional approval for that?
I think it's something we ought to consider. Sure, if other members feel the same way, I'm not sure, but.
I would agree with Todd. I also think that the business owner should be doing the estimating. Like, I don't think that you should have to go online and
Well,
try
I wasn't going online. I was sitting in this process. If anyone doesn't know what I do in this process, sometimes I am a little more of a hand holder in the process. Now, I'm not bringing the paperwork to the person saying like, here's a chair you can buy for $50, but I am sometimes sitting down suggesting how they might want to attack this, so the committee looks at it as a valuable project, as something that's good for the town, you know. So sometimes it's a little bit of a hand holding.
Yeah,
to
I
put
guess
it
I would just
nicely.
agree with Todd that we should have a clear estimate. I would actually
agree.
say that I would rather see the grant packages and that information before we vote, rather than it being conditional.
Okay.
I would agree
Okay.
with
I
what Steve
agree.
Todd.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
And can I just clarify with the sprinklers?
Yes.
So this is also going towards the cost of the sprinkler upgrades?
Correct.
Okay.
That would be, it would, in theory, the way I presented this to you guys, and the way I was, that George was trying to present it is, that he would cover the sprinkler cost 100%. The reason behind that, to be honest, when he purchased the building purchased the company or the building or whatever, I guess the lease of the building at that point in time, there was a missed sprinkler in the cooler, a dry suppression sprinkler in the cooler that was missed through the inspection process, through whatever happened, through luck of the draw, whatever you want to call it. It was noticed on this year's inspection. So after year 2024, the guy's been in business for 3 years, and the fire department comes in and tells him that he now needs to spend $3,000 on something that maybe A, should have been caught in the initial turn. You know, I don't know where it got missed in the whole process. I'm not looking to blame anyone, but to come in and try and assist him at that point was my main mission. Was and then when I mentioned that we had extra, you know, when I said we have up to $5,000, that's when he said, I'd love to redo the patio as well. And I said, well, this should be great because it covers two sides. It gets you up to compliance.
Yeah.
Kind of,
I just,
So if I may on that, so a practical matter, he has to replace the sprinkler head. So to be clear, regardless of what this committee does, that has to be done.
that's going to happen.
okay.
So certainly if the committee wants to focus on the outdoor seating, that would be appropriate, and just kind of forget about the sprinkler head.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
mine-
the sprinkler's kind of the cost of doing business. I mean, that's just
That's
part of your,
correct.
you know.
Yeah, my point with asking that question is, I just think they're two totally different things, and
Yeah.
we should be, my opinion is that we should be focusing the grant on either outdoor seating or helping with updating the sprinklers, just because
Correct.
they're two totally different things, and the sprinklers, you know, they're required as part of his operation of business.
Yeah, I
And he'll
understand.
have to do it anyway
Oh,
to
yes.
stay open. And this
I was
committee
thinking
could
more of
certainly
as a-
help with that, of course. But, you know, we don't know that cost. That cost could be higher than anticipated, and.
Right. And
Well,
Well, if the
also-
focus is economic development,
Yes.
certainly outdoor dining is the
Yeah.
key.
that is correct, yes. I was trying to look at more of the community development side of,
Sure.
you know, looking to assist in a point of business that, you know, was concerned about the cost of updating that sprinkler. To lose a business over a sprinkler would be a shame.
Sure.
Right. And just looking at priorities too
Yes,
for him,
and,
if he
well,
needs assistance. with
Priorities for him, and
sprinklers,
yes,
then-
but priorities for the town would be the business remaining open, I would
Right.
think. So I think the sprinkler is the priority, because without the sprinkler, the business goes away, I guess, at some
Yeah.
level.
So maybe we can
Potentially.
find out from him
Yes.
if he's able to cover that cost. And
I mean, obviously, he
what's-
would cover whatever, I guess if he had to, he was just looking for assistance. It came to me, like I said, through the fire department, finding issues at the site, so I was just attempting to, you know, put a hand out as the town. At one side, the town came out to him and, you know, said that you have to update your sprinklers, and you were unaware of this, and as a business owner, you can imagine someone after 4 years of owning a business telling you that, I'm sorry we missed this, but now you gotta come up with $3,000. As a upsetting day as a business owner, especially, you know, so at some level, I was trying to come in and show the town isn't just out here to walk in and hand you a violation notice.
Yeah, maybe I can make a recommendation, see what folks think. I guess since we don't have a quote on the outdoor furniture, and maybe we defer a decision on this applicant until next month, if they can come back with quotes on the outdoor furniture, and we can look at the entire outlay he's considering, and then make a decision at that meeting. I think because in the fall we didn't really have too many applicants, I think we do currently have an abundance, I believe, in the fund. So
So I'm looking at this, Sean, and we don't have much information on anything. I'm not sure if we should defer these grants until our next meeting, until we have all the information, the quote for the floor, whatever Haven wants.
I mean, I certainly can get quotes from the, Haven did give me a quote. I'm sorry I didn't send it out to you guys, but I do have some paperwork from
Okay, so
Haven.
I just think in
Just some
interest of
estimates
time
from,
And, you know.
Just, sorry.
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
Just going back for 1 second to all of this, I think we want to also be careful. I'd like to know more about the sprinkler and their estimates for the outdoor furniture, because we don't want to get into a situation where we give a grant out and then 2 years later, the business closes. And, you know, we've had that happen before, and I don't,
we've had one grant out of the 49 grants that we've
Correct,
issued
but we
through
wanna
this
be
program
careful.
since 2021. One business has shut
Yeah.
their doors post any of our grant money. And I totally fine with doing whatever the committee feels necessary. It just on the back end of this, when the grants are actually issued, for me to issue those grants, I go through, you know, a rigorous check of, you know, making sure the receipts are showing to match what we're offering in the grants, so they, you know, there'd be no, you know, concern of the money not being spent on sprinklers or spent on outdoor furnishing, because if anything else shows up on those receipts, they're not approved. So there is a checks and balance on the
Okay,
back
sure.
end of this, just so everyone's aware of what happens
So just
after the grant
think
is
in the
approved.
interest of time, we want to get through these next two, just so we can.
I'm happy to, or if you, I think Christie
I just
might.
wanted to
Yeah.
just say something off of what Holly just said. I think one of the things that I don't know that we've ever talked about is if the business has any outstanding violations. And I think that's maybe where you were headed or what you were saying. And I assume that Fred would know. And so I'm sure that it probably hasn't been an issue because you would have raised it. But it'd be an interesting point of data on our applications maybe.
We sit down before each
Well,
round.
let me
Yeah.
clarify this, please. So I would suggest that we forget about the sprinkler. It's something they has to
Yeah.
do from an operational point. I will take the hit on that. I completely apologize. I should have reviewed this more closely with Mark and just not brought that in front of the committee. Because at the end of the day, he has to replace the sprinkler head. Let's be clear on that.
But I think that's what we were saying, is that if there's something that they're required to do, the committee would want to know that.
That's fine, and as an update to that, there's another, so yes, again, my apologies, I think it's appropriate that they came in front of the committee for the seating. I think that's perfectly clear, so that's why we let it go forward. There's another applicant that we did hold back because they are in violation. I won't get into particulars, it's not appropriate to do it here, but generally we do that.
Gotcha.
This is an oversight. Again, I think it's appropriate, we're talking about the chairs and the umbrellas. So the grant application is appropriate, it's just that twist shouldn't have been in there, and I apologize for that.
Okay,
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah.
although I look at it and I say, as a new business owner, somebody sort of put one past them, like this wasn't noticed when they purchased a business. And so now they have to get it done, yes, but it was no fault of their own. You know, so I don't mind supporting a new business owner if something's happened sort of I don't want to say beyond their control, but a headwind has been put in their way that they weren't expecting. I think that's part of what we want to do here as well, to support small businesses. So I don't totally have a problem with bringing the fire suppression system forward.
Well, again, I'll say it's not, it really shouldn't be part of this grant, though. There are other situations that we're dealing with that a business changes their operation in mid-stride, and then we'll do an inspection and find out they really shouldn't have done it that way, so they have to get a different piece of equipment. That would be appropriate because it's a change of the actual business. This was just an oversight. There's no other way to say it. It was clearly something we missed over the years. Every time you do an annual, and again, I'm getting in the weeds, I apologize for that. When you do an annual, sometimes different eyes. We've had change of operation, people that are doing the inspections. They look at it, different perspective. They picked up something we hadn't over the years. It was just simple oversight.
On this application, I'm happy to go back to the House Pizza and work with him to get a quote for just furniture and remove the sprinklers from this completely. I mean, he's gonna do I would assume he's gonna do the sprinklers anyway. Like I said, I came in with that as the issue, so I was trying to just nullify an issue that I thought the town brought in front of them. So I was trying to, hopefully show that, as much as the town comes out to do their inspections, and I think safety is incredibly important, that we're not out to shut people down for, little things. So I'm happy if we can talk about this afterwards, but I'm happy to bring this back next month if
I'd
that's,
move on, Mark.
Yeah.
if that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll keep going here. So and like I said, I'll apologize. Hare Haven, for those that don't know where Hare Haven is, it's located on Sumner Street. As soon as you turn off the rotary there, it's a small store, a small hairdresser that's been renting that location since 1980. Her floor is starting to fall apart after, I guess, 40 years of people coming in and out, much like Dan was saying, the weather at the time, but this is a little more, not quite as much traffic as the Central House. So she was looking to do an upgrade to her flooring for the safety of her customers. Most of her customers tend to be, not all, but tend to be more elderly customers, so getting in and out of the store is a challenge. So she was hoping to replace the flooring at her store. I have estimates here. If you, like I said, I'm happy to share them. But she was looking at the total cost of her project to be about $11,000 to replace screen doors, baseboards, suspended ceilings, some electrical updates. Obviously, it's a fairly involved project. It's an older facility. I think she's really trying to give it a facelift to that point. So total estimate here, $11,610. She is looking for the full $5,000 to offset that cost, so roughly half of that cost, or a little less than half of that cost. As you can see, she has a 90 as a score, so once again falls really high on a ranking as far as scores go. I don't know if there's any questions I can answer for those.
I think that seems
I think
straightforward.
that's pretty straightforward. Any questions? Okay, Todd, Mark? No? Okay. Thank
All
you.
right, and the last one I have here is B&B Health and Nutrition. They are located in the Lyman Shopping Plaza, in the same building as the 495, the quarter 495 Chamber of Commerce on the first floor. Kind of towards the back there, as you turn in off of Lyman Street there, on the second floor, you can kind of see him over there. Has a blue, like a bright blue coloring in his logo, so he's hard to miss. Eduardo provides training facilities, strength coaching for every age group as far as that goes. He is looking to put a new sign up on the outside of his building to help grow his business on the edge inside the property. Obviously, you would have to go through building to make sure it's approved. He has an estimate between $2,700 and $3,000 for the sign as an estimate. And then he was looking to buy some additional equipment for his facility. He had listed a squatting machine for $1,195, a shoulder press for $800, some additional weights totaling $500, and then he was also, I had mentioned to him to try and grow his business. He was asking me ways he could grow his business. He also talked about joining potentially the chamber in the building that he's in to help kind of expand his network a little bit, because beyond giving someone money, I want to make sure they make money and grow their business. So I try to always point people towards different groups and stuff within the town that will help them out. So he was going to buy additional equipment. So some, like I said, he added this up to get me to the 5,000. He could have, with the equipment I was looking at with him, because people show me all their equipment stuff as I'm sitting down talking to him. He could buy thousands of dollars worth of equipment. He has a list of stuff he wants to buy. He just picked out stuff to hit $5,000 for my estimate here. So he will be putting some of his own money into this as well to buy additional equipment. I don't know the exact dollar though.
Well, having owned a fitness center for 7 years, I understand that.
You know, when you talk weight, it's
Yeah.
not cheap.
It is not cheap, but, again, is this grant going to be, are we looking at one thing, multiple things, just, is it signage or equipment?
I mean, the grant can be used.
Why did he feel like he had to get to 5,000?
Yeah.
Because we've given smaller grants before.
I don't know if he felt he had to get to 5,000 or realized the grant was worth up to 5,000 and assumed he would apply for the full amount, hoping to get whatever was allotted, and if 3,000 was allotted, I would believe that's the thought behind most people, is that,
Well,
if there's
I know that people before have come to us with a specific request,
Yeah.
like the sign.
The sign, yes.
And then we've given a smaller grant because it's
Yep.
smaller. How long have they been?
He has been this since 2021. and has a 10-year lease on the facility.
My thought is to stick with just the signage, the sign, that's the
Yep,
main thing that that's just my thought. Because you can spend thousands of dollars on equipment.
No, obviously the equipment is endless when you get into that dollars. That's an endless amount. I think, like I said, I think his hope was just to fulfill the grant to the full amount, ask for the full amount, and see where the committee lands on granting those funds.
Mark, Todd, any comments?
No, I guess my only comment would be, and I think a few of you even mentioned it, it really would be great to see the entire packets of their applications, and especially seeing specific estimates for items. So I think, Sandy, you even mentioned maybe defer until next month. I would feel more comfortable doing that, especially if we're talking, everybody's applying for $5,000 here, so we're gonna have to figure out a way to break it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that.
We can defer all, if the committee votes to defer all four, I have no issue with that. And I can certainly acquire some more information from the participants.
I think the only one that we have a clear, information is Hare Haven. They've supplied the quote. So I think that would be, if we were going to vote on anything, that would be the one I would say we vote on. But we should, I'll make you guys can, majority will say if we want to defer till next month. That's my preference. I just don't feel like we have enough information.
I'm just going to go ahead and make a motion that we defer voting on the grants until next month.
Yeah, I second that.
And then so our request is we get quotes on each project, I think, and then if the applicants, Dan came today, but if the other three applicants want to come next time, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
And
I think if we have the application
Yeah.
and quotes, so everything in front of us, and then the applicants are here, I think that's more prudent.
Going forward, do we have some kind of a mission statement for this, this program that defines economic development? Some of these things in my mind are economic development, some of these things are maintenance.
Yeah.
And outdoor seating, I think is 100% economic development, visibility, attracting people to the business. The other stuff, I don't know. So I'm just wondering, just asking off the cuff, is there some kind of statement that defines
From
what
reading
is
in there,
economic?
I don't believe it has anything that clarifies it at that level. I believe it's, for the betterment and economic development of the business to help grow, expand, or locate to Westborough is, I believe, the terminology they use. So I believe it's always been the discretion of the committee to decide, is the expenditure a good expense versus a bad expense, or something that we consider economically viable versus a benefit to the business directly. It's
Yeah,
always been
I'm
the
just being
committee's.
devil's advocate, but again, going to the outdoor seating thing, that is, we can say to the taxpayers of this town that this is, we did something to make downtown more attractive.
There is
Yeah,
a
but-
purpose statement.
Right.
Yes,
I was
I'd have to
gonna say,
read it.
as part of the grant
It's part of the grant. I have to
application-
read it. I didn't have it off the top of my head, but.
Part of the grant application does specify what the funds can be used for, and typically, we don't look at funding things that are operational.
Right.
So if it's strictly a replacement of an existing piece of equipment that doesn't benefit, I shouldn't say benefit the company, but if you take, for instance, a stove and replace it with the same type of stove, that's just an operational cost. I think we tried to not get into that as a committee in the past, and I think that's been supported by the committee.
Okay. I think, if we're looking at upgrades and making the, flooring and screen doors, and
Correct.
that's all upgrades that's aesthetically pleasing, so that I think, to me, but a sprinkler system or something that, to me, is a cost of doing business. It's part of being a business owner. It's part of the responsibility you take. And this is a grant, not a loan, right? So I think if we look at it as a grant, it's like something that you would love to do to make your business better, so.
I think that's consistent with the purpose statement. Maybe it'd be helpful to send out the program document for everybody as a reminder, because it lists in there things that are not eligible.
So do we need to do a roll call for this motion?
Yes.
Okay, so Mark Varro? Okay.
Was that a yes?
Let the record show
He's
yes.
like, wait. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Burrow, yes.
Todd?
Alexander, yes.
Williams, yes.
Keo, yes.
Jingers, yes.
Coker, yes.
Kenny, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Leonardo, yes.
Okay, so we're going to table these until we get all the information, and we will revisit the grants next month. All
Yeah,
right.
and Mark, I guess one more thing. So we haven't done as many grants this year, so I think we do have, typically we do 15K per quarter, but at this point, I think we can afford to do more. We've got this quarter and next quarter. So
Yeah, we
maybe
gave
a
one last
maybe a
quarter,
status.
So we had, in theory, if we give 3 a quarter, we were 2
Yeah.
outside of what we had normally done in the past. So today, the reason why I brought 4 forward, I thought they were all qualified, and
No.
also that we had the funding available for those.
Makes sense.
those
Yeah.
grants.
Makes sense.
I
I
think
think
too-
at next time, we just want to know sort
Yeah.
of what our figure is so we can plan for the rest of
Yeah,
it.
and I think just, we need the business owners to know, what's the project? Not try to get to a certain number, but what is the project? What do you need the money for? I think if we kind of, not give them that, that like $5,000 is what you're gonna get. Set the expectation, for signage, I need $3,000 to improve my sign. Okay, I think that's, what Christie was saying, so.
Okay, I think that seems fair. None of these things sound unfair. I think I bring these forward, each one of the businesses, and they'll make their decision. Each business has to make their own decision whether they choose to come forward or not, so.
All right, sounds good. So next on the agenda, everyone good?
All right, yeah.
Next on the agenda, EDC term appointments, Mark
Yep.
Zeff.
All right, so this is just quick to go over. Let me just, all right, I don't know if I can, is Westborough TV there? I don't know if everyone can see this. It's not showing up on the board right now.
You're up.
It just switched.
There it goes, thank you. Thanks, Aiden. So this is just quickly, I had spoken with Todd a few weeks ago, and Fred was able to collect some of this information for me about the appointments for the Economic Development Committee in general. As you can see, we have the one vacant seat, which was vacant by me when I stepped into Zach's role, so we still have to, and I know the committee had spoken about leaving that position open until we go forward. So I just want to let everyone know to see where we're at. Our 2 positions that are expiring is Todd, our chair, in June of 2024, and Scott also in June of 2024. We staggered these positions on purpose to make sure that we didn't lose our entire committee in 1 year and have to replace everyone at one time. So as we go forward, we'll look at that. On a positive note, to do with this on the ambassador program I've been working on since I came into the spot here, and now to add to Bonnie and Bonnie Sullivan and Peter Allen, who have been kind of the stalwart ambassadors to this group for the last, I don't know how long, well before my time. Maureen Johnson, who's at the meeting today, has volunteered to work with us. Also, I have Adam Boyce, who works for Sotheby's Realty, has volunteered to work, and Curtis Bramley, who is works in Southborough, but a Westborough resident, heavily involved in the Rotary, have all asked to come on. So that brings us to 5 ambassadors, which is, I think, great, and it gives us an opportunity maybe to look at those people as potential fillers of our vacant spot come June. Gives us a few more months to let them get situated with the program. So I just wanted to bring this to everyone's attention. As Todd being the chair, we'd have to talk to him further if he's planning on staying with us or if he's looking to do something new, or potentially people on the committee might want to think about in the next few months who might want to step into some chair, vice chair positions for next year.
The note on that, just please make sure that you change my name.
Oh, yep, sorry.
That's okay.
It's misspelled.
Okay, well, yep.
The ambassador committee, I know we talked about that prior. Is there a kind of a role description that requirements or suggested things that they're going to be doing? What's the kind of how are we leading them to success?
So what I've asked the ambassadors, the biggest role they do is I'm the only person, I am the economic development engine of Westborough. So as much as I'd love to go see 1,200 businesses every few months, I can't do it. So my biggest thing is just to let them know that I'm out there. Let people know when you meet businesses while you're out doing your everyday stuff. The nice thing about these people, every one of these ambassadors, they are involved in multiple committees through town, so we can really get our word out there as we release programs. So the biggest thing is just to be a mouthpiece for me. And then as we start working on like downtown improvement projects, Jenny will talk about that, I'm sure, in her section. So other things, as far as outreach for the award ceremony, when we do the awards, I'll ask them to be part of the awards program. Outreach to any of our new programs that go on as far as grants, anything happening in town, the trick or treat, you name it. I think they're going to be just help for me to get people out there, just to kind of be another mouthpiece for the committee, I think, is the biggest advantage to them.
Mark, if I may.
Yes.
So Sandy, to answer your question, yes, there was a description that's put forward for the ambassadors. We can, Mark can share that with the committee.
Okay.
He doesn't have it here, obviously,
Yeah.
today, but
I just think, ambassador committees is great when you volunteer, but you kind of fall off
Sure.
unless there's some parameters around, what's the expectation for it.
yeah, we do have that. We can put that as an item to discuss next meeting.
Sounds great, thank you. Good there, Mark?
Yep, no, that was it on that. If
All
anyone had, like I said, I just wanted to bring this up because we're, 3-4 months away from that coming, so it'll be upon us before we realize, because we'll have the breakfast and other things
Right.
that are gonna come quick, and all of a sudden we're making those decisions for next.
And Todd, no pressure, but there's a vacancy, just saying. All right, so next
You're
on
doing a
the,
great job, Sandy.
I have a little more hair than you do, that's what I said earlier today, so. All right, next on the agenda is the EDC.
Sorry,
You
one
won't after a year of this.
quick question. Since there is a vacancy, do we have any requests for appointment?
You do have an application in front of you. I don't know how that gets brought forward to the select board, but there is at least one applicant.
I know we had talked to one of the women business owners.
Okay, I hadn't heard about this applicant, so I don't want to speak off of.
Sounds good. All right, so now we're going to move on to the EDC Awards Breakfast. Mark, you're up
Yes,
again.
so I'm going to stay here again. All right. So basically today, what I'm hoping to do to come out of today's meeting is to we basically have come down to 5 awards we'll give away at the awards banquet. Once again, this committee makes all these decisions. These are just my suggestions. If anyone in this committee wants to come forward with a different award or something else, I'm happy to put forward whatever you guys would like to do. So I was trying to just put some notes together, as I wasn't in this position all year, as much as I didn't have complete, I was sat it with you guys all year, but I didn't necessarily always keep diligent notes on every business that opened in town while I wasn't.
Just real quick, did everyone get Mark's email on the categories? Make sure that everyone has that? Okay.
Yep. So, so just to put some stuff out there, I was just to kind of go through. We had left some the awards kind of open ended, that we could change the names year to year in an effort to make sure that we weren't giving out a foodie award just to give out a foodie award, because that doesn't seem like it makes any sense. We want to make sure each award kind of makes sense for the year. So this year I was kind of going through, and we had businesses open. I'm not going to say we didn't, but there weren't a ton of small businesses that opened downtown, since downtown's been pretty full, luckily, for the last couple of years. So I looked at new development projects as one of the categories. It's one we've done in the past. Obviously, I'm open to anyone else that want to add names, but Cold Harbor is a great project in town. Amazon at 60 Otis, which is the same day fulfillment center that now is open, and if you drive by there are 1 million cars going in and out of that place all day. So it seems like a great, robust engine for the economy of Westborough. A new small business, I just trying to find things that kind of had opened up, and like I said, I'm happy to hear any new names. Coffee and Pie, I put on the list. They won a grant from us last year to get a new bakery chest. It's done really well for them, so I thought they'd be a good example. Higgy House Books, which was also the pop-up grant winner, the pop-up winner for the redo project, which we supported over the summer as a new small business. And then Milk Street Gas and Auto. He's a resident that rents in town and owns a small business right here in town, so it does a really nice job with everything he does. And then downtown businesses, like I said, I was just trying to think. Elite Dental, right over here, I guess behind me, did a huge remodel of that facility and took an empty building that hadn't been used in a year or so and turned it into a very high-end dentistry that's had services on Channel 4. They've been on Channel 4, so they've been noted by larger organizations outside of us. And then I mentioned the Community Advocate. I know they're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, so they've been just such a good part of the community for so long. So I thought, being a downtown business would be a good nod to them. Civic Pride. I was trying to go off of this, and I'm happy to listen to new names. I just look at every organization that I see in town and who sponsors stuff, and those names are on, Red Barn. That bottom one, 50 years, was supposed to be the Community Advocate. I also put in that category. It was supposed to be 50 years on the Community Advocate. But those are businesses that when you go into them, they always have flyers hanging. They're willing to give you cash, gift certificates, anything as far as that goes. So I thought, if someone has a better concept of Civic Pride, I'm happy to listen to names. And then the Hall of Fame, the Civic Pride is an online vote as well as the Hall of Fame vote. We had done Norris Farm in the past, and last year we did the Ullman's Ice Cream. If I said that correctly, I apologize if I didn't say it like a Westborough townie. And but this year I was looking through names that we had, and then obviously we had, Harry's Restaurant on Route 9's been there for, I think, 80 years. JP's has been there, even though they're under new ownership, has been in that location for decades. Classic Consignment right here in downtown Westborough has been about 40 years in that location. And Best Cleaners has been in that spot also for about 30 years. Obviously, with the voting, I'm happy to add as many names as anyone likes. And on the other ones, I'm happy to add names. You guys can surprise me with a name that I didn't think of. Some names that came up just through emails that I received from people. These were other companies, just to give people ideas. They've been around a long time. I put this to the committee to see how they feel they want to go forward.
I think Tavolino, they do a lot for the community. They donate anytime you ask. They're
Yep. Like I said, I didn't purposely leave anyone off the
no, I'm
list.
So what are you looking for the committee? Jay,
What I'd really like to come out of today's meeting is have at least the 3 awards that aren't. I would like to have a list of anyone they want to add to an online vote, so I can create the online ballot and get that out and set a voting period. I'd also like to get a little advice from the committee on how long they'd like me to put it out there for, if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what do they think is too long to follow what you think. So I'd like to get who we're going to do the onlining for, so I can get that together. And then as far as the other 3, it'd be great to have those voted on today, because Westborough TV does have to do their videos, which this gives them plenty of time to get that forward, but just so they could have time to get their stuff together and not put any additional pressure on them.
And what's the date of the EDC again?
Right now, I'm between 2 dates of the 19th and the 26th of, I want to make sure I have those dates correctly.
It's
I've
okay.
written it down over here. Yeah, between the 19th and the 26th, I am working with the Undersecretary of Economic Development, Ashley Soba, to come and be our keynote speaker. So we're just finalizing the dates with her, as well as our venue. We're between, obviously we could use the Great Hall above there again, and I'm also speaking today with Use for Events over on the other side of Route 9 to see about using their facility potentially, just to expose another business in town in the process.
Any suggestions from anybody?
So I have a couple of comments, if I may.
Of course you do, Fred.
First, the new development. So Coal Harbor, I'd kind of almost have some reservations for bringing them forward right now. I think it's a great business, but as we kind of elicited, there's some issues I'm still working with them. So I'd be personally and professionally hesitant to bring them forward for that reason, which then kind of makes that category kind of thin. If we just brought Amazon forward as the only applicant for the new development. So that may be kind of a borderline.
Okay.
In my opinion. The Community Advocate, as much as I love them and our seat at the board, I almost might think that would be better suited for Civic Pride or Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I agree.
Either one I think is appropriate. The downtown business, I think, would be awkward for that.
I agree.
No offense, Dave, but
No, I agree. I agree.
I think that would be better suited, and I think it's appropriate for either one. I think they'd be great for either one. I wouldn't have a problem putting them in either one.
Any new development ideas? I don't know who took over one of the Korean restaurants. Was that one of the Sapporo? Was that Sapporo? Was that taken over and redone, or?
Yeah, it's Kenzo's now.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just off the top of my head. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, that was another one that was, I think they're, if you're talking about downtown.
Would we want to talk about the Grossman Group and how they're doing some new development in Bay State Commons? That might be,
Yeah,
they're
that's actually a
adding-
great idea.
they're adding
Yeah.
a couple of restaurants in there, and we just got to, notificate. So that might be driving the economic,
That's a really
growth
good
of the
idea.
company.
Did they get something last year?
No,
I know they were at the,
Grossman's?
they were at the event, but they did not receive it.
No, I don't think so.
And
I
then
think
what
that's a
about,
really
what
good
about the place that took over RJ Secures? What's their name?
Rax won new development from us last year.
Okay.
And just to mention about
Yeah.
Rax, on the side note of Rax, tomorrow, Thursday night, Fred and I will be attending. They're a finalist for the Mass Econ Impact Award, the Massachusetts Impact Award for the 20th Anniversary Impact Award. So Olympus won the award, I think it was in 2019 or 2020, I can't remember what it was, but they won for their project, so it's nice to have another Westborough business on the state level of awards.
Here, we look at Civic Pride, I mean, there's a lot of, like, those businesses there are pretty well known, but like, people like Yummy Mummy or the Prototype, I think I think we have a lot of opportunity to recognize some not so well-known businesses, here, because a lot of them do give quietly, and they participate in different things, so, I'm sorry I didn't respond, I was away last week, so I didn't really go through this, but any suggestions, Mark and Todd? What do you guys think?
I think first of all, I agree with Fred as it relates to community advocate. I grew up in town, and Dave, you've always been doing stuff in town here, and I think Civic Pride or Hall of Fame would be fantastic for you guys, and well-deserved. Another downtown business potentially could be the Little Gym at Bay State Commons. They took on a big space there, 7,900 square feet, and seems like they've been very successful. A lot of young kids in there partaking in their activities, so that could be one we could add to downtown. New development that's a head scratcher right now. I can't think of anything else that we have that has happened in town, other than the two that Mark had there.
Oh, Grossman's bringing Wayback Burgers, and what else are they bringing into there?
the town of Westborough.
Post 22, Post
Town of
22
Westborough.
going in there.
The senior center.
So I think,
We'll be on the
it'd
list
be
next
premature for way back. I think next year would be an
I'm just
appropriate
thinking
time.
for Grossman, like what they're trying, as new development, as they're trying to grow and bringing new things in. They're adding the farmer's market, with Rotary's moving the farmer's
Sure.
market to Bay State Common. I know that's a town thing.
Well, they didn't actually do that. That's the town. That's
Town thing,
not
yeah.
Grossman. But you could look at the capital improvements that they've put into
Yeah.
Bay State Commons. They put in, I think well over $500,000 worth of just sidewalk improvements, lights,
True.
things like that. But
I think Bay State Common is just such a important, obviously, we all know this, right? It's such an important piece of our downtown, and so I think that's a really great suggestion for new development. Their investment in that property is going to be really important.
Yeah.
And honestly, not really just bringing in folks into Bay State Common, but keeping everybody who was there,
Yeah.
I agree. That's a fantastic idea. For new small businesses, I wasn't sure. I was going through some stuff, and I might get some name wrong here. Alioth? Are they new downtown? They were referenced as being part of One West Main Street.
What's the name of it?
Maybe I got it wrong. So basically I was going through the Permit Pro and looking at new sign applications.
One West Main.
Alioth, Century Family
Oh.
Dental, Lionsgate. Is Lionsgate a net new
Lionsgate's
company?
gone. They're the one that we lost. They're the one we gave a grant to that didn't make it.
Oh.
What about
Sorry
Gaudette?
for mentioning that.
Oh, no, that's okay.
What about Gaudette Insurance? I mean, they take over that building on Main Street. They're renovating that. They're expanding their offices. So Gaudette might be another, small business employer kind of.
Yeah, like I said, I'm open for any ideas that
That's what I
people
mean.
have.
I think we've got to, we have a lot of business. We know these people, but I think we've got to start reaching out to people we don't know and get them some, recognition.
Well, this is what I try. I go in,
Yeah.
I'm knocking on doors as much as I can, but sometimes it's hard even in the course of a day to get out. But so I think new development, it looks like Grossman Group seems like a good fit for what it might be. We can vote on this, obviously. I'm just trying to get some notes. And then downtown, Todd had added Elite and Elite Dental and My Gym. We're on there, and small businesses.
When did Gaudet move in?
I'm sorry?
When did Gaudet
2021?
Insurance move in?
Oh, they've been there for a while.
2021,
2 to 3 years.
2022.
Yeah, they've been on a while.
I think with maybe their renovation and could be small business, but
Mark, I'd like to add a couple to downtown businesses, and I don't know if I have the name right.
Okay.
Underneath me on Union Street, I can't think of the name of it's it's a gym that he just did a bunch of renovations to.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I can't think of the name
but
of it
he's
now.
done very, very well. He's been very good with the town. I think he does a lot of donating, and he's kind of like a little hidden gem down there, but people come from far away for him.
and Canvas and Cup as well. I
Yeah,
think she's
yeah.
doing a lot with the town. She's doing a lot of. She could be good with for Civic Pride.
Mhm.
Chrissy's done a really great job.
Yeah, and then Simple Enough, I think I mentioned this to you before, Natural Foods in the Lyman
Yeah.
Plaza. They've been there since 1977. They're family-owned. I think that they're, kind of also a little hidden gem in town that not a lot of people know about, but they have a pretty regular following, and I think that I'd like to see them on there.
Okay.
Next Level Fitness is the,
Next
Thank
level.
you.
yeah.
Thank you.
So do we want to vote on the online, Mark, and then do you want to send out something for?
Well,
us to
I mean,
vote?
I was hoping to have, I've asked for nominations for these categories for a little bit, and I appreciate all the feedback. I was hoping to come out of today's meeting with, like I said, my list of the online voting, and then also if I could hand Westborough TV their marching orders for my videos would be a great way to come out of this meeting,
All right.
ideally. I know we're still putting names out there, and if we put this back to next month, I fear that Westborough TV, it would put a lot of pressure on Westborough TV to produce these videos in less than, in a shorter period of time. So
Well, thank you for putting this together and spending the time.
I tried to, I'm doing the, coming into this, I've learned a couple things in this position is I got to get on things a lot earlier, so I got to be doing Halloween in June and
Yep.
awards in November. But that's these are the things I've now learned. My schedule has to be 4 months ahead of what I'm thinking about doing
Well,
next.
you're doing
but
a great job.
That's
so
next year's.
Your enthusiasm is like.
2024.
Great.
2024 will get us there.
So let's-
Might I suggest you make a couple moves, if you want to move community advocate to,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
a category?
Can you
Yeah.
update the slide? If you want us to vote today, can you update the slide while we're suggesting, and then we can see it?
Yeah, so we'll take each category and just
Yeah,
you
move it around.
and do that. Mark, do you want to do that and then we'll move to Jenny and come back to you? Do you guys
Sure,
want to do that
that's
in
fine.
use of
Yep, I can
time?
do
Is that
this,
okay
yep.
with you guys?
That's
Okay.
fine with me.
Jenny, you are up.
Awesome. So for planning, the biggest thing I'm working on right now is the MBTA community zoning. So the planning board has a meeting tonight, and that's our first public hearing about that. So feel free to tune in. For the downtown development plan, that's another big plan that I'm working on. We had a meeting a couple weeks ago with RKG Associates, who's our consultant that is working with us on it. And with staff, we walked around downtown, and RKG also went in and talked to some of the businesses to get feedback. And we did get some really good feedback in terms of what businesses wanted to see. And they're still working on doing interviews with other stakeholders. So they might be coming to this group soon, and then we'll just wait for next steps. And then that's all I have for
Okay,
planning.
all right. Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
Any questions for Jenny?
No, if I could just interject at that point, though, we had kind of a success story this week when we were talking about downtown and downtown parking and outdoor, dining and things like that. We've had a long-standing problem with the municipal parking lot off South Street. Half of that lot is owned by Central One, so that is, kind of offline parking. And the other half has been notoriously used as permanent parking for people that want to store their vehicles. Todd Minardi stepped up in a big way went down, checked everybody's status, and cleared out maybe 12, 15 parking spots. So it's, you know, in terms of when we start talking about, you know, on-street dining potentially and wayfinding signs, and it doesn't make sense to have a wayfinding sign that sends somebody to a full parking lot. So hats off to Todd Minardi for being a responsive individual for the town.
Todd, Mark, do you have
thanks,
any
Dave.
comments for Jenny? Any questions for her? Okay, great. Wow, Mark, good job.
Yeah, I'll
Actually-
try.
All right.
A lot of my spelling if it's
Mark, sorry, 1 second. Can we see the second page of recommendations as well, just to kind of,
Didn't Holly add some to the Civic Pride? I thought
Did I
or
miss
somebody,
one? I'm
Yummy
sorry, did I?
Mummy and,
Okay, I
remember
didn't,
who else
okay,
was-
sorry. I didn't miss that one.
Yummy Mummy and,
simple enough natural food?
that's right.
You also could put Yummy Mummy in downtown businesses if you'd like. I mean, they are a downtown business,
Have they
so
won anything from us before?
I
I don't
don't
believe so.
recall that they have since they moved, so
okay.
I think that would be appropriate for downtown businesses if you'd like, as a committee.
Sounds
You know, at the risk of stepping on my own toes, I would suggest, if possible, if we were to be nominated for Community Advocate, that might be a Hall of Fame award
I
as
agree with
the
that.
50th year
50 year, yeah.
Sure.
milestone.
I don't think you're
PR.
stepping on your toes.
Well, it's awkward, but I'm so grateful for the recognition, so thank you.
Is there the option on this for someone, a member of the public, to nominate someone in like an other category, or is it just
We
up
haven't
to
done
this
that in the
committee?
past. When this began in 2021, everything was voted on by the committee. 2 years ago, we opened up the online voting for Civic Pride and Hall of Fame Award to try and get some more interest to gain some more momentum in the program. I would have no problem going forward, I think, for next year if we wanted to set something up like that. I think now to start having citizens nominate and then us put together a vote would also put us back to that pushing the March date at this point. But I think that's a great idea for next year. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, I support that completely, plus it also gives us a nice increased visibility factor for the efforts of the committee.
We've been doing this a lot longer than since 2021.
Oh, gosh,
true.
yeah.
Yeah, this
We've
is
been
the
pretty
10th.
much from
This
the
is the
inception
10th.
of this thing.
This will be the 9th
Oh.
annual awards.
Yeah.
I'm going back to my time. That's all. I can only
Oh,
speak
yeah.
for. I don't know what went on before I was here.
The awards, as Mark has alluded to, have changed almost every year.
Yeah.
There's no set requirement. The committee's oscillated in different topics, and
I think it'd be great to have, like you were saying, you know, people voting on it and us kind of finalizing it, but
I know the online
nominating.
voting has been incredibly popular from what I saw from Zach's notes. A couple thousand people voted. You know, I don't know how many people voted more than once. I don't know if he regulated emails or anything, or if it was a free-for-all. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it was he wasn't that worried about anyone stuffing the ballot box, but
no, I think it's good publicity for the businesses.
yeah,
It-
definitely.
yeah.
And we discover new businesses that we don't know that are there, you know?
Sure.
I think
True.
there's a lot of people.
And ones that have a great following that we didn't really realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, Mark, you want to put it back
all
up?
right, sorry. Yeah.
That's okay.
So I think I
Oh.
got everyone on there. If I missed something, I apologize.
So for new development, we've got Cold Harbor, Amazon, and the Grossman Group, Bay State Commons. So do we want to go around? Is that what we want to do?
I mean, I guess I don't know if someone wants to put a motion forward and we start from, that's probably the easiest. I mean,
Okay.
we could obviously discuss it more if everyone wants to, or if someone wanted to put a motion forward to something.
So question, so Amazon has multiple buildings. Which building is this? Is it?
It's actually 64. It's the one next to Cold Harbor that is suggesting.
Okay.
That's the most recent one they opened.
Got it.
The same
So
day
they
for-
could very likely be on the next year's list.
Absolutely.
as
They
well,
have another facility that they're likely to open, we hope.
momentarily.
Okay.
Any day now.
So anyone want to do a nomination for new business development?
I would put forth the Grossman Group for a new
Uh,
business development.
I would second that.
Go around?
Williams, yes.
Keo, yes.
Coker, yes.
Henny, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Leonardo, yes.
Varro, yes.
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so
So-
looks like Grossman Group.
Excellent.
Sorry. Simple enough, it wouldn't be under new small business, though. They would be under probably Civic Pride,
Civic Pride?
I would think, maybe Hall of Fame, but probably Civic Pride.
I didn't have it memorized, sorry.
Mark, when was the proposed date of the awards again?
Either April 19th or 26th. I'm waiting on the undersecretary. There's two things I'm waiting for. Is one, I got to talk to US for Events today, make sure that both those dates are available. And then once I get those firmed, I will go back to the undersecretary and she'll firm her. So I'm hoping by Friday I have
Okay,
I have one of these dates down.
cool. All right, new small business, motion for, I motion for Milk Street Gas and Auto.
I'll second that.
You second that?
I'll second that.
Sean?
Any discussion, or do folks?
Is there a way we could see the list for the new small business? We can't see it on our screen remotely here.
Okay, Aiden just walked back in. Maybe he can help us out there.
We can tell you that
Yeah.
there's
Thank you.
3.
It's
Yeah.
Coffee and Pie, Hig House Books, and Milk Street Gas and Auto.
Huga, yeah,
Sorry.
Huga.
Huga.
Huga, that's
I look at
correct.
it as
Yeah,
fun,
Huga
but
Shucker,
anyway,
that's
that's
correct.
a new small business.
I screwed up that name many times.
Yeah, trust me.
Any discussion on that one?
Todd, you good with that list?
Yep, yeah, no, and I'm all good with what was proposed too.
Yeah,
Okay.
the only reservation I have, I would vote for a Huga House, but their funding and their lease runs up in March, and I'm not sure they know what they're doing, so
Yep.
that could be a moot point.
Fair enough.
So, Milk Street Auto, Todd,
Alexander, yes.
Mark,
Burrow, yes.
Williams, yes.
Keo, yes.
Gingras, yes.
Croker, yes.
Kenny, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Leonardo, yes.
All right, downtown business, we have Elite Dental, Gaudette Insurance, Next Level Fitness, Canvas and Cup, or Cup and Canvas,
Oh, which one,
My
yeah.
Gym, and Yummy Mummy.
Little dyslexic.
Yeah, it's actually the little gym, not my gym.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay,
That's
we
what I get
got
for
it.
typing quickly.
Any nominations or any opinions?
I'd like to nominate Next Level Fitness.
Any other nominations? Okay. No? Next Level Fitness? Todd?
Well, actually, doesn't somebody need to second that?
Oh, yeah. Is anyone want to second that? I don't know them, so I don't.
Second.
Jenny's gonna second? Okay. Jenny, second. Mark?
Burrow, yes.
Todd? Can't hear you. You just put yourself back.
Alexander, no.
Okay. Jenny? Kristen, sorry.
Yeah. My daughter goes there, so I guess I should abstain.
Okay.
Well, you would know it better
I
than
mean,
most of us then.
I mean, it's been a really great experience for her, so I support it, but I guess I should abstain.
Okay. Sean?
Yeah, I mean, this one's trickier. We've got
I
a
know.
bunch of, we've got a bunch of applicants. I mean, I'm fine with that. I guess I'll say yes. See what the committee thinks.
Well, is there any other,
Well, we're not giving out that many awards. I mean, the committee could choose to do 2 awards under that category, too. If
Okay.
they felt there was just a suggestion. I
Yeah.
mean,
There's no limit to the.
no, I mean, we're only giving out 5 awards, which is actually not a large number for what we have in the past. We've given out, 7 or whatever. If you think there's 2 appropriate winners for that category. I don't want to screw up the vote here.
we're pulling teeth to get the vote, so there's no enthusiasm here for this, so I'm
Right.
trying to get some, I love Canvas and Cup. I think they're great. The Little Gym, I think, is also, another family. I think they're both kind of family.
Fred, are you comfortable with Canvas and Cup?
Yes, I don't think there's any
Okay.
present issues with them. I mean, again, this is kind of screwing it up. If you want to kind of break it out to 2 different groups in that one group somehow. You know, maybe.
See, I think Elite Dental's worth talking about too. Their building is really at ground zero of downtown, and they've invested a lot of money into that property. As Mark pointed out, they were, for the services they offer, they were highlighted on the news and stuff. So before voting, I wish we could have actually discussed some of these in a little more detail.
Well, we
Do
certainly
we
can.
have any kind of master list of downtown businesses available
Not
to
in
us?
front of me right now. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't, I didn't come prepped with a
No,
list like
I'm not-
that. I'm
no,
sure
I'm
I
just-
could pull something like that. It would take me a little bit, but I could pull something together, I
But
guess.
that, I mean, to Todd's point, that was a corner business that was empty. And when McIntyre left, I remember that well, so they've.
And also, the Elite
revitalized that
Dental was
corner.
a grant winner from the EDC as well. Not that that should matter, but it's nice to see that someone we gave money to, use the money and appropriately.
Yeah, I think two awards makes a lot of sense. We are a little short. The point of these awards is to promote business in Westborough, so I think two makes sense. I don't know if there is a way to divide that category, or we can just say we have two downtown businesses.
Just
Well, so if I may, Next Level Fitness is newer, and Elite Dental is newer, right, to the location.
relocation.
So if you wanted to, you could look at new downtown businesses and then just downtown businesses. You could split it that way. Or you don't have to do either. You could just leave it as downtown businesses. Yeah, you can try to do something like along those lines.
I was going to suggest the same thing as Elite Dental, being one of them being a new business, one being a downtown business.
If folks don't feel ready for the downtown business, that's only one video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
sure we could talk to, if we knew, talk to Karen at Westborough TV, I'm sure she could work with what we have.
All right, why don't we table downtown businesses for right now? Next month, we'll vote on that. Is that okay? That'll be March. Let's go to Civic Pride. Everyone good with that?
In
John?
the interim, is it possible to send out a list
Send out a
of?
list.
I can
Yeah.
put something
Because
together.
I think it might have been the list from like Halloween or whatever, that'll help us.
Yeah, I could
identify.
definitely send what I have. I have something, and it might not be 100% of every business downtown, but I
Just
bet
something
it's
so we don't make sure we're
80%. So,
overlooking
yeah,
someone that we shouldn't.
it was a tough award to try and figure out, to
Yeah.
try and find people that were in there, like I
Yeah.
said.
And maybe the second page with those suggestions as well, Mark.
What's that? Oh, the second page, yes. I sent, yeah.
Yes, Maureen?
These EDC awards is economic development awards, it's not just downtown, right?
Right.
So
Right.
should there be another category, not to make this word, but like maybe Route 9 businesses or something that's not downtown? Not to complicate this, but I just feel like this is all focused on downtown Westborough, and there are
Yeah.
other businesses that people forget about.
Yeah.
How much is a trophy cost?
Actually, that's a good point. I mean, if you look at it, Harry's and JP's are the only two that I see off the top of my head that are not downtown.
Cold Harbor,
Oh, yeah,
Amazon,
yeah, Cold
Coffee
Harbor,
and
Amazon.
Pie.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly would support, a Route 9 category, because it does represent a whole different side of town.
So on that, I mean, yeah. So I'm happy to put together a list of downtown businesses for you guys to vote on next month, or you can make it as, decide to break the categories up today. Obviously, in the comment that was made by Maureen, we're not adding any, with this list, there's not a ton of Route 9 businesses sitting there, so I wouldn't be able to, we could add some more, obviously, if that's something we're interested in.
We could also do a category for wellness, Westborough Wellness, where we could pull out Next Level Fitness, the little gym, Release.
Yeah, that works. And I was
something-
thinking of Elite, you could potentially have a category for medical.
Yeah, or something
Medical
along
or
those
something.
lines, but
Yeah, one of the things we had done in the past was we actually had a number of categories for just this purpose, because from year to year, we might not have a foodie, might not have a new development project. And the idea behind that was that we were able to shift these awards not to try and jam a round peg into a square hole. We were
Right.
going to try and leave it so it's something that was a little more natural.
Okay.
And I didn't feel like that last vote with the Next Level Fitness, it didn't feel like everyone was
Yeah.
very excited about it. So I would rather see that, something that's more of
Do we want to move through Civic Pride and Hall of Fame?
Yes, and I think for the downtown businesses, I think we each just need to do a little bit of follow-up so we understand
Yeah.
what each of those is, since some have just been presented to us.
Yeah, so Mark, if you want to send out that list.
I can get that out today.
And then we can, we just, as a committee, just commit to sending back some feedback, and then once you get the
And
feedback.
if
then
Westborough
you can
TV
send
gave
out.
me an issue that they wanted anything faster, I could potentially arrange a Zoom meeting for the EDC later in the month if we had to. Not that it's ideal, but if we had to get a second meeting on the calendar, we'd have time to
Okay.
put that out to the public. And
All right, so let's look at Civic Pride, Central House, Julio's Liquors, Red Barn, Yummy Mummy, and Simple Enough? Is that what Civic?
I think we moved Simple Enough to, was that going to Civic Pride, or was that to?
Was it Civic Pride, Holly?
I don't know which one would be better under.
Okay.
I can do either way. I'm,
I think
happy
simple
for more
enough
names. So
might-
Civic
maybe
Pride,
Hall
we
of
have Central
Fame,
House,
right? 'Cause
Julio's,
that's-
Red Barn,
Long
Yummy
time,
Mummy.
yeah.
I mean, I look at Civic Pride as someone who does like donations, and I look at Hall of Fame as a milestone thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I know Julio's does a lot for the community.
Yeah.
Central House does a ton.
Red Barn, I mean, they don't say no to almost anyone when they're in there for all their, everything they do out of there.
Does anyone want to nominate a,
Like I said, the vote goes, what I'll do from here is I will create either a Google Sheet or something that goes out to the world. I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm assuming a Google form, but I don't know that. If there's a better way that I find,
We
if
can
I
give
Google
you-
something better, I'll,
We can give you a hand. If you
okay, I'll talk to you about that.
all right. So we'll do that. So the online votes will go out. Mark will get that out. Anyone want to add anyone to the Hall of Fame?
Nope. So Yummy Mummy is under Civic Pride?
Yeah, I don't know that, would Yummy Mummy be appropriate for Civic Pride? I mean, a downtown business is one thing, but,
She might be more of a downtown business.
yeah, we kind of got it listed both.
So Central House, Julio's, and Red Barn, those three?
Good with that?
Good with that? Everyone's good with that? Todd, Mark? Yep, okay. And the Hall of
Okay.
Fame, Harry's, JP's, Classic
have to make a
Consignment?
motion on that?
Oh, do I have to make a motion on that? Sorry.
No, I think it'd be appropriate to make a
Just to,
motion.
yeah,
Make a
just to
motion
cover
on
ourselves.
Civic Pride. It's my first time doing this, Maureen.
Thank you.
That's all right, we'll help you along.
Nope.
Leonardo will make a motion that we nominate Central House, Julio's Liquor, and Red Barn for Civic Pride Award.
Do you have a second?
Second?
Roll call.
Keough, yes?
Jingers, yes?
Coker, yes.
Kenny, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Leonardo, yes.
Varro, yes.
Alexander, yes.
Perfect, thank you. And let's do the online voting for the
Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Community advocate.
Oop, sorry, you want
Um,
to throw it back up there?
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
I was
I was trying
updating
to go
my,
off memory, but didn't
I was
really work too
updating my
well.
slide, there we
All
go.
right, so we have Harry, we have Harry's, JP's, Classic Consignment, Best Cleaners, Community Advocate, and Simple Enough for Hall of Fame. Do I have a motion to approve this slate to go out to the online vote?
I'll make a motion, Kenny, to approve Harry's, JP's, Classic Consignment, Best Cleaners, Community Advocate, and Simple Enough Natural Foods for Hall of Fame.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
And let's go around. Mark?
Varro, yes.
Todd?
Alexander, yes.
Fred?
Leonardo, yes.
I believe I need to abstain. I don't really
Yes,
know.
you do, probably.
Kenny, yes.
Coker, yes.
I believe, yeah.
Keough, yes.
All right, very nice. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
All right,
Mark,
We
just,
look forward to
um,
getting the information from Mark.
Yes,
Just double check those names. I think Holly's right.
I'll double check the spelling before I send everything out this time.
Awesome.
I was quickly typing them in there.
Awesome. Fred, you are up next. Community Development Report.
Yeah, sure, thank you, short and sweet. This may already be public information, but the proposed market that was going in Speedway Plaza, Arcade Centers, Big Wire's now announced publicly that they are taking that space. It's about 40,000 square feet. It's been vacant for a number of days, months, years. So I have spoken to Arcade Center, a rep from Arcade Centers. They're very happy to see that announcement. You won't be shopping there in the near future. It'll be a little bit before they do their fit up, so it may be a little over a year from my understanding, but at least that's good news.
I think they bought like a bunch of the Amazon Prime locations, and they're just going into all of those around, so,
Yeah, that's my understanding. So that has been made public.
cool.
I'm also happy to report with Mark's help, last night I was in front of the Finance Committee, and they have voted affirmatively in 9-0 to support the EDC grant program at the warrant, so that was good news. They did have some suggestions. I'll talk to Mr. Alexander about that, and maybe we'll present those next month, maybe we won't. So that was great news last night. Those are the two updates I have.
Awesome, that's great. So we have some marching orders before we meet again next month. Anyone have any other business that they want to discuss? Mark, Todd, you guys? No? So we'll be getting the EDC applications as well as their quotes so that we can make some informed decisions next month and hopefully give out some good money and really support them. Mark will be sending us out the list of the downtown businesses. We will need to make sure that we all respond to that and kind of give our thoughts, and then hopefully, Mark, you'll have a good idea about that. As soon as the online voting goes out, let us know so that we can then promote it on our Facebook pages and things like that to get as many votes as possible.
Yep.
And thanks for showing up today, everybody.
Thank you very much,
All right, anyone want to make a motion to end our meeting?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
All in favor?
a roll.
We have to do a roll.
Sorry.
All right.
Yes. Keo,
I'm
yes.
Coker, yes.
Kenny, yes.
Bagden, yes.
Leonardo, yes.
Baroque, yes.
Alexander, yes?
We are adjourned. Have a great month, everybody.
Sandy, nice job.